Associate Professor at the Institute for Russian and Eurasian Studies at Uppsala University, who joins us now live from Uppsala in Sweden. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us here on the program. Now, on one end, we're seeing Russia conducting military drills with Belarus. On the other hand, we're seeing NATO getting more military support from its members to back Ukraine. It feels like we're more farther than closer to a diplomatic solution here.
Well, what you've had so far is a facade of diplomacy. There's nothing about diplomacy. Diplomacy requires not only talking, but also listening. And you can see from what the NATO side and US side are saying, they're talking, but they're not listening. They are stating the same things they've stated perpetually, but the words don't add up. So they're playing a rather, I would say, hazardous game of poker. And bear in mind that they're talking about the quantity of military hardware and power rather than the quality. Because if we talk about the results of NATO, they did not manage Afghanistan very well. And so these talks of strength are going to ring hollow in Moscow.
There are a number of important meetings set to be held today, including the Normandy Format meeting between Russian, Ukrainian, French, and German representatives. Can we expect some kind of breakthrough, given that we do have representatives from Russia and Ukraine attending?
I would doubt it, because there is no indication that those other countries will move beyond US's strategic interests. Where Russia has indicated they're prepared to negotiate, they are listening, but they are not getting listened to. So I think it's going to be going around and around for some time until both sides actually not only talk but listen to each other in order to achieve a compromise, because what NATO is talking about is not a compromise on their behalf.
Right, and the Minsk agreement seems to be back on the table, but could that bring a solution to the crisis? What is different now compared to when the Normandy Format backed the accords back in 2014?
Well, the problem is that they're not being enforced. And I mean, this is not only about Russia, but it's also about Ukraine and the other signatories. And of course, what you have now, which you didn't have in 2014, was the fact that NATO and the US are arming Ukraine. And given their political instability, it can create a lot of potential problems in the very near future if they continue to do this, because there are going to be results from this. As we've seen from 2008, when you have a country which thinks it's got NATO or US backing, they are more likely to attack in order to achieve their objectives. And I mean, this is going down the same road. This, instead of collective security, it's creating collective insecurity.
All right, Greg Simmons, thank you so much for sharing that analysis with us and joining us here on the NewsHour.